I'm cat crazy, and I'm not the only one. Over 13 million people across the UK, including yours truly, share their homes and their hearts with a furry ball of feline mischief. But with their famously dangerous sense of curiosity and their incredible ability to get into dark spaces and high places, cats often end up in need of our help. In this series, we'll meet cats close to catastrophe, the animal rescuers who dedicate their lives to saving these amazing animals.
We got her!
And members of the public that are there to help them.
I didn't know what the conditions was like up there. Every day I prayed that she was alive.
I have Brody here for you.
Hey, Brody.
I'll experience firsthand what life is like treating ill and injured moggies.
But I hear that you have been in the wars.
At one of the country's busiest animal hospitals.
No pressure. Quite a lot of pressure.
I don't want to be a vet anymore.
We'll meet cats that push the boundaries and challenge what we think is possible of our furry friends.
Tula's changed our lives in so many ways.
And I'll bring you the science behind what makes your beloved kitty one of the most impressive creatures on the planet.
On today's show, miraculous rescues, life-saving operations, and mischievous kittens, just like you. And cats that have nearly used up all their 9 lives. Coming up,
Inspector Anthony Joins goes on the hunt for some elusive stray kittens.
Come on, babies. Oh, there's the kittens down there.
A life or death operation for a little kitten who fell from 3 floors up.
She's broken all her bones in her lower leg.
And will 30 cats prove too many for one owner?
It's just getting too much.
every year the RSPCA collects over 4,000 abandoned cats, the most abandonments of any species they deal with. I can't understand it either. Sometimes they're left in bins or dumped on the side of the road, or like Sassy here, left for dead in a box. But quite often their owners just move out and leave someone else to deal with the heartbreaking results.
In Liverpool, Inspector Leanne Hardy is on her way to check on some cats that have been left in a flat.
The job we're on our way to is an abandonment of 2 to 3 cats. The call came in to say that they'd been abandoned 2 to 3 weeks ago. I sealed the property up 3 days ago, and it's been monitored since every day.
The landlord, who suspects they've been abandoned, has given Leanne keys and permission to go into the property.
Well, it looks like my card's still there. It's all still there. Yep, they're abandoned.
As the cats have been left to cope alone for what could be weeks, Leanne wants to move fast and advises the RSPCA's prosecution team she's about to go and get them out.
The landlord has asked me to go in and get the cats. I told him we need to do an abandonment procedure. As far as he's aware, this person's gone. Thank you. Bye. Bye. Worst case scenario, we're going in, there's 3 dead animals.
Unfortunately, cats being left for dead isn't an uncommon case for Leanne.
Right, let's go. I can hear a cat. It doesn't sound like a very well cat. Oh, 2 cats I can hear. All right, I'm coming. All right. Shh. Oh. Right. All right, sweetie. They're emaciated. Right. Come on, sweetie.
These young cats are severely underweight.
One at a time. Oh, skinny, pretty cat. But alive. Come on. OK. OK. There you go. Get your tail in. Right.
With 2 skinny cats safe at last, the hunt can begin for a possible third. And Leanne can get a closer look at the conditions they were forced to live in.
It stinks. There's feces everywhere. The sink's full of water. OK, there's dirty dishes, and there's a dripping tap, so hopefully the cats were able to get to that, to at least get a drink, which is maybe why they've survived. That stinks. That's been there some time, even though it's a fridge. They have been getting something to eat at some point because there's feces, but the feces looks pretty old. I can't see any fresh. There certainly doesn't smell like there's any fresh.
With a final check for other cats,
OK, I'm satisfied there's no cat in here.
Leanne can get these 2 the help they need.
As far as the cats are concerned, you feel every bone on the body, but they are alert, responsive, so that's a good thing. Come on then, my darlings. Come on. Let's go and get you something to eat. There we go. OK.
Let's hope she's got to them in time. In Liverpool, Inspector Leanne Hardy has just rescued 2 very thin tabbies.
I know. You have some food, too.
Vet Kaylee Hill will assess their condition. First up is this 2-year-old long-haired who's been named Ariel.
Oh, they're very thin, aren't they? I feel all the bones along the spine there. So when we're assessing, we call it the body condition score. We're feeling a few different areas over the ribs. Because she's long-haired, it's masking. If she'd had no hair here, you'd be able to see all the ribs there. I can feel all the bones of her shoulder here and all along every part of her spine and all the bones in her pelvis and at the back. She is what we deem emaciated. 1 out of 9 body condition score. Just no muscle whatsoever, that's all wasted away. There's nothing there. Good lady.
A weigh-in confirms how underweight she is.
Weighing in at 1.3 there. Let me just make a note of that. You would expect a cat of her stature to be more like 3 kilos.
To add to her problems, Ariel is also dehydrated.
So we'll also check her gums. She's very pale, can you see?
Yeah.
They're sticky, the gums, which is a sign that she's not fully hydrated there.
OK.
So all right then, Poppet, let's check out your friend.
The second cat, Belle, is even thinner.
Come on, sweetheart. There you go. There you go. Stand on there for a minute. 1.19.
Now, in terms of the body condition score again, it's a bit more obvious because she is shorter hair. You can see the ridges along the spine of there. I can just get my little finger and thumb all the way around there with no effort. All the bones of the pelvis are palpable.
It looks like they were rescued just in time.
Because of the length of time that they've been without food, they're at the point now where the body has metabolised all the muscle. They are literally skin and bone. The next stage would be that the different organs started to shut down and they're just not able to function. They get very weak, like they collapse, and then within a couple of days of that, pass away. So long as we get the next stages right of gradual reintroduction of food, get the hydration back by putting them on fluids now, then they should be OK. But it will be touch and go for a couple of days.
Hang on in there, you 2. We'll be back to check on you later.
We all know cats are incredible animals, and when it comes to breeding, they're in a league of their own. Aren't you? Yes, we are. They're actually able to get pregnant by different males at the same time and can give birth 3 times a year. So with an average of 3 to 5 kittens in a litter, that's a whole load of cats being born every year. I mean you, and you again. Bless him. Just you.
It's not just inspectors and vets that save cats' lives. Up and down the country, eagle-eyed members of the public regularly come to mischievous Moggy's rescue as well. And in Chester, Mrs. Martins has heard a strange noise coming from her shed.
The gardener went in and he told me there was a cat in the shed. And I came in and she was over there in the corner. I just sort of went to have a better look at her, and she was sitting up, and when she sat up, 3 little kittens ran across. I was worried, so I rang the RSPCA.
Got a call, basically to go pick up 3 kittens. That's all it said. There's 3 kittens and possibly mum that you need to collect.
You wouldn't believe anything could get up there between that and that.
Oh, yeah.
It's up there, that black building.
Okay.
Well, I brought a flashlight.
Brilliant.
There's no light in it.
It's all right.
Inside Mrs. Martin's massive shed, it was pitch black.
Can you see him?
Hello. I remember it being really hot and really dark, and I looked to my left, and there was 3 sets of eyes.
She said, oh, I can see all the little eyes looking at me.
They literally scurried off out of sight.
Anthony managed to find the kitten's mum.
So we've got Mummy. Hey, Mummy.
But her babies had run off.
Mum just sat there and she was okay, so I offered her some food and managed to get her into a basket. I mean, that's when the fun started, really.
Unaware that Anthony was there to help, the kittens decided to play hide and seek.
If you open that door again a little bit, I can hear them sort of making noises. Hey, babies.
I think this is what you'd call a wild kitten chase.
Come on, babies. Oh, there's the kittens down there. 3 kittens had literally scurried straight off out of sight, and they'd managed to get into the most awkward possible position, which then made it almost like a rescue. You just see the eye shine there. Right. The only idea I come up with was to put a net one side and make a bit of a bang and a fuss at the other to scare them, and hopefully they run into the net.
That'll never work.
Come on, babies. It worked.
Oh.
2 of them ran straight into the net and 1 slipped past. I've got 2.
They're not very old, are
They look okay, don't they?
Anthony caught 2 and put them in the cage.
All right, babies. So there's 2 in there.
Caught the mother, put her in a cage. And then we went looking for the other one. Well,
I did everything that I possibly could to get this kitten to come out. I was offering food, anything in my bag of tricks to get this kitten to approach me, and nothing. I took Mum and the 2 kittens, and I returned later on and set a trap. I was quite worried that night, and first thing in the morning, the lady rang me up and said, we've got it. But then she said there might be something else in there with it.
I checked the trap. I was expecting to find 1 kitten in the trap, and when I pulled the cover back, I was frightened in case there mightn't be kittens, it might be a rat or something.
There's actually some breaking news. We've not caught 1 kitten that we thought was left. There's 1 there. And there's another one.
And I couldn't believe my eyes when there was 2. It was lovely.
They turned out to be Mum and 4 kittens, so it was a really quite nice little rescue. And here's baby number 3. And here is baby number 4. Hello.
It's lovely to think that they'll go and have nice homes with people who love them and look after them. Nice, isn't it?
So, thanks to Mrs. Martins and her gardener, Anthony was able to rescue the kittens.
They're fat as anything.
Oh, aren't they lovely?
The mum has done such a brilliant job.
Oh,
I can't believe
I'm
this.
so glad I found them all.
And just a day later, he's on his way to see how they're settling in at Wirral Animal Centre.
One's a little terrified, look.
These little cuties have now been named Luna, Indy, Sausage and Mash.
Okay, I don't want to stress them out too much. Hello. I'm not that bad. They would have been suckling from mum, mainly, but they're just at the age when they're going to start eating. And I think at this stage, mum would have started to struggle to provide enough food for them. I think we got them out of there at the right time, really, before problems started to creep in. It's horrible when you realise that the animals don't trust you and they don't realise what you've done is help. So the idea now is to start socialising them, come in and say hello, half an hour a day, and give them some little strokes and some human interaction. We don't want them to continue on that path towards being feral. We want them to realise that we're friends, really.
Looks like that one's already taken a shine to you, Anthony. The kittens are being weaned onto solid food, and in a couple of weeks they, and Mum, now called Rose, will be ready to find their forever homes. We'll see how they're doing later.
We've all seen footage of cats falling from buildings and landing on their feet and running off to live another day. Not this one. This is thanks to an incredible writing reflex that's mastered by the time kittens are just 7 weeks old. I've got a writing reflex because I'm round. But just because you've learnt a new skill, it's not always a good idea to try it out. And at Putney Animal Hospital, they've got one particularly adventurous patient.
Hey, Jules. Gonna come on out? Okay, it's all right.
12-week-old kitten Jules is being looked after by vet nurse Emma Spring.
She's been with us for 3 days now. She'd fallen 3 stories from a balcony and she unfortunately fractured both of her hind limbs.
It's a serious injury that will need a lot of aftercare. Sadly, her owners couldn't commit to it, so little Jules was signed over.
She's a wonderful kitten and she's an absolute trooper. She, all that she's been through and she's doing so well and she puts up with it all so brilliantly. So we've been keeping Jules on some nice strong pain relief to keep her nice and comfortable. Do you want to play with something? What's this? And also lots of TLC as well. She's still a kitten and she still likes to play and she still needs lots of love.
Today, Jules is having a very tricky operation in an attempt to fix both her back legs. In charge will be vet Juliet Bancroft.
She's broken all her bones in her lower leg, really. So her shin bone, tibia and fibula. One of them has actually come through the skin because it's so displaced, and that creates problems in itself because that's what we call an open fracture, which potentially could become infected. The easiest way to fix it is with a pin, going straight down, pinning them. They'll be very minimal post-op care with a couple of weeks cage rest. Hopefully, with her age, she should heal pretty quickly, is the hope.
Time to prep the tiny patient for surgery.
So we're just going to anaesthetise her. We're just going to give her injectable anaesthetic. She goes to sleep. There we go, and you won't know anything about it. Tiny, isn't she?
Juliet will be hoping that at least one of Jules's legs can be saved. A cat can manage fine on 3 legs, but not on 2.
Listen for a second.
We're going to do the left one first, so we'll have her on, that's the right side. So that's one end of the fracture there, and then the other bit will be coming down. So it's all at a very funny angle at the moment.
Working on a kitten of this size is going to be a challenge.
So it's probably about as young as I've done an orthopaedic surgery, I have to say. So we'll make our first incision. So there's not much soft tissue, there's not much in the way of muscle.
This muscle needs to be moved aside so Juliet can work on the tibia bone underneath. Look away now if you're squeamish.
Completely 2 different bits. The plan now is just to clean it up a bit, because it already start producing quite a lot of fibrous tissue reaction around it.
The bones of a young cat need careful handling.
So small and fiddly when they're this size, I have to say. Put any pressure on the bone, they could just break further. It's not going to be brilliantly stable once the pin's in, but it's going to be the best chance she's going to have, I think. I think we're ready for the pins. This is called a Jacob's chuck, so that just holds the pin tight so that we can manoeuvre it and put pressure on it. It's always fairly nerve-wracking stuff when you're actually just getting to the critical point of it. You have to be so gentle. This is the bit where either will goes incredibly right or incredibly wrong.
Fingers crossed for incredibly right.
It's actually really nice and straight. I'm quite surprised that's set in quite nicely. I think that's one done.
With the most difficult fracture fixed,
Okay, leg number 2.
the second leg, literally, of the op should be a lot more straightforward.
We've just stitching up, having done the second leg, and the pin's in place, aligning really well, and feel actually fairly stable considering fracture.
The confirmation that all is well with the pins will only come from the post-operation x-rays.
That right one actually is really close to the joint there. I was a bit worried that one of the pins maybe had gone a little bit into the joint, but I think it's just very stiff, where that was the worst leg. Both legs are looking really good, the pins are in place, the bones are absolutely in line. So I'm smiling, and it all looks really good, yeah. Hopefully we've saved her legs, which will be amazing.
We'll catch up on Jules's recovery later. Here at Leybourne Animal Centre, they've taken in 362 cats in the past year, and these gorgeous little kittens have had a particularly tough start in life.
Hi, Janine, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Oh,
nice
look
to
at
meet
this.
you.
What have we got here?
These 4 are some hand-reared kittens that came into us.
How did they get to you then?
They were at stonemasons,
Right.
and unfortunately their mother had abandoned them, so their
Okay.
mum was a stray. So one of our inspectors got a call, and they've made it back to us.
What's their names?
So we've got Dusty, Cement and Marble, and we've also got Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka.
Yeah, that's him.
I don't really... That's not really a building term, is it?
He's
Little
the
runt
runt.
of the,
yeah,
right,
he's
of
the
litter.
smallest. That's Willy Wonka.
Hello, Tiddly. And you're called Willy Wonka. Has he got a wonky willy?
He has got some health issues, unfortunately, but we're working on that. He is due his feed.
Hey, Willy. Yeah. Straight there. So he's got to be fed up more than the others, has he?
He has, yeah. So he's always been a bit smaller. He's actually been living separate to them, just so we can sort him out, feed him up a bit more, because otherwise the others will steal his food.
And in terms of rehoming them, will they go as a package or separately?
So we'll go either as pair or single kittens. Occasionally we get people come along and ask for a trio, but that's quite a lot to take on. So probably...
I've got my handbag with me.
They're fit, yeah. They're lovely.
Hopefully, if you keep eating like that, you'll be as big as your siblings in no time. Coming up, the frequency at which cats breed becomes a very real problem when you already have 30.
It's just getting too much.
And we'll see how 2 of the kittens Anthony found in a shed are getting on now.
They integrated really well.
Literally all it took was 24 hours.
We all love cats. I've got 3 of my own. But how many is too many? In the Northwest, vet Kaylee Hill has set up a new initiative to provide a more effective way of dealing with households of 10 or more. Look at you.
Earlier in the show, we met Kaylee examining a pair of severely underweight cats. Today, she's out of the surgery and visiting Mary and her 30 cats.
We're about to do a revisit on a multi-cat household that I attended for the first time a couple of months ago.
Kaylee has already spayed 19 of Mary's cats, but her work's not done yet.
My aims today are to get the final 2 females spayed, so that we know the population's going to stay stable. You know, each cat can have up to 3 litters a year, and when you're talking 30 cats, the numbers just cycle out of control very rapidly.
Last year, Kaylee and her team set up a project that involved more preventative work.
So far, I've worked with about 15 houses, and it's a range of numbers. Some of them have been 30 plus, so this is one of our larger houses.
I think you might have the right house. Mary only started with 1, but now her house and garden are full of them. Among all these, can Kaylee find the 2 cats she's looking for?
Hi, Mary. How are you?
All right, come in.
Excellent. Good to see you again.
But there's a surprise in store for Kaylee. One of the cats she was intending to spay today had kittens this morning.
What we'll have to do then is delay her spay until obviously those kittens are weaned, and then we'll do like we did similar with the other litter. I'll do another visit and we'll get her spayed at that point.
Thankfully, these brand new kittens look fit and healthy.
So this one is a girl. Let's check. Yeah, that all looks fine. So 2 boys and a girl. And they all got full tummies, so they've obviously have been suckling, which is good.
Kaylee will have to wait until Mum has finished nursing to do any neutering, but there's still one other cat she's looking for.
So this is Flash, who was just a few weeks old at our first visit, wasn't she?
She's gone big, hasn't she?
She'll stay in the hospital overnight just to recover, and then we'll bring her back to you tomorrow. OK.
To date, Mary has refused to sign over any of her cats, but Kaylee gives it one last go.
You know that at any point with these, that if you feel like you're not coping with the numbers, then we can get homes for them.
And it looks like Mary might have changed her mind.
I haven't got that much money.
It's not, that's it, and it's a big...
It's a big lot, it's a lot.
I mean, the food alone, you were saying, what was it, like 48 tins a day or something?
£70 a week.
I couldn't afford it.
No.
But how many can Mary bring herself to part with?
I haven't got a clue.
No.
Because it's just getting too much.
Well, shall we maybe start by trying to reduce it to half, to say 15? Does that sound an OK plan? Yeah.
That sounds slightly more manageable.
When we first came today, and to hear that there was another litter being had this morning, you start to think, oh no, again, you feel like it's beyond your control. But now to hear that we can get those into our care and that she's had that complete turnaround and does want to reduce numbers and really concentrate on the ones that she's left with is really positive news. I'm very happy.
Now, just to get them in the van. Easier said than done.
You took the lid for me. There we go. I've got it. That's it. That's fine.
It's a very good outcome for Kaylee and her team.
You honestly are making a brave decision here. And you've worked with us, and you're still going to have a good number, aren't you?
With 6 cats safely in the van, Kaylee will return for the other 9 later.
I just had to let them go. I just can't afford them anymore. Do you know?
Yes, well done, Mary. You've definitely done what's best for the cats.
I'm a cat owner. I can completely empathise with what she's just done there. I mean, that takes guts. And I've said to herself, I admire that today.
Earlier in the show, little Jules went under the knife to repair her back legs after she had a horrific fall from a balcony.
As far as the operation went, both legs are looking really good, pins are in place, the bones are absolutely in line. Hopefully we've saved her legs, which will be amazing.
It's 4 weeks later, and we're back at Putney Animal Hospital with vet David Mills, as Jules is about to have some important new x-rays.
So we're really pleased with how Jules is doing. The back leg she's using like a normal cat, which is great news for her.
But unfortunately, it wasn't just her back legs that were a problem, as it turned out that the front leg was also fractured at the elbow.
If the elbow doesn't heal as we would like, then we would have to amputate the front leg.
So there is certainly a lot riding on the outcome of today's x-ray for poor Jules.
We're going to give her some fairly heavy sedation to be able to x-ray her legs. We're hoping that the x-ray shows that the bones are healing well.
And once the x-rays are done, David can start analysing the results.
This is the x-ray following the operation, which was taken immediately after the operation. There's actually really good healing happening in these bones, so the edges of this are quite straight on this side, whereas on this side they've formed this nice, what we call a callus, which is basically an area of healing bone, which has happened in the last 3 weeks. And it looks the same on the other side as well. So we're really pleased with how those back legs are looking. They're looking like they're healing exactly how we would want them to.
So far, so good. Just the verdict on the front leg to go.
The body, as it's healing, will put down a lot of new bone and then remodel it, and so it will shave bits off. What has happened is that the cat has healed the fracture of the elbow completely by itself. We wouldn't expect any further problems from this in the future, and she'll get to keep all 4 of her legs and probably go on to live a very long and happy life.
So it's great news for Jules.
Today it gives us a really positive result. The fact that she's showing such great signs of healing mean that the news for her is, and for her now and in the future, is fantastic.
So it won't be long until Jules is running and jumping. Hopefully this time not from great heights. In their first 8 to 10 weeks, kittens need to be well socialised so they can turn into friendly pet cats. Adamite and Amethyst were born here at Leybourne only a few days after their mum was brought in heavily pregnant. So it's up to animal care assistant Mel to give them the extra new experiences they've missed. And today, she's got a helping hand.
Hi there, Mel.
Hello.
Oh, what are you doing with these 2 little sweeties?
We're trying to socialise them with new environments and different toys to keep them stimulated when they go off to their new home.
OK. Now, and who do we have here?
We've got Adamite and Amethyst.
Okie dokie. Who am I going to get then? Adamite. Come on, Adamite. I have no idea what Adamite is, but I'm sure you resemble it. So it's important, is it, to give them the opportunity to try lots of different things to explore and jump on and...
We like to try and sort of let them interact with as many different things as they can while they're here, just so when they go into a new big scary house they're a little bit more confident with different toys and sort of climbing posts and activities to keep themselves occupied.
The socialisation period allows kittens to learn what aspects of their environment are normal and safe so they can grow to be well-adjusted adults. This includes trying to get the kittens used to being handled as much as possible, which is also a good time to give them a thorough health check.
I'm going to give you a health check. Now, will you please just calm down on my lap? I won't take long, then you can go and play. Got that? Yes, perfect. OK. Yeah. So running your hands over...
Yeah, to make sure that there's no sort of abnormalities.
Right.
And then checking all their feet to make sure that they're all OK. And all their claws are still there.
Her feet are so gorgeous, lovely and soft. Yeah, perfect, perfect. One more. Perfect.
For more information on how to socialise kittens, speak to your local vet or animal centre. Earlier on, Inspector Leanne Hardy rescued 2 starving cats called Ariel and Belle that were left abandoned in a locked flat.
Oh, skinny, skinny pretty cat. But alive.
She is what we deem emaciated, just no muscle whatsoever. That's all wasted away. They are literally skin and bone.
8 weeks on, and Belle has already found a new home, while Ariel, who had more severe health problems, has been staying at the Warrington Animal Centre. But with careful help from Ian Dale and his colleagues, she's now fit and healthy.
Ariel's just here a bit longer because she had a bit more of a problem with the stomach. She was very skinny. You could feel basically all the bones in her body just by stroking her. We've had to give her 4 little feeds a day so we don't overload her stomach. She's also been needing a bit of socialisation to get used to people again.
And with a full belly, Ariel can concentrate on what she should be doing. And that's playing.
She's gradually coming out of her shell now, and the socialisation that the staff have done has been great with that. She's very curious. She likes to investigate all the surroundings and play with the toys.
Is this really the same timid, neglected puss that was rescued just a few weeks ago?
Considering what they've been through before they came, with all the problems, they've been absolutely brilliant. She's really getting there now, and she looks so much better than when she came in. That's all sorted. She's right as rain now, and she's looking for a great home now.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Hopefully it won't be long before Ariel is bouncing around in a new forever home like her friend Belle. 3 months later, and those little black kittens that gave Anthony Joins the runaround have all been vaccinated, neutered, and found happy new homes. 2 of the litter,
Sausage.
And this is Mash.
Caught the eye of seasoned kitten rescuers Chris and Louise.
The guys at the RSPCA know me very well, so they let me in the room with them. Mash was skulking around, he was trying to suss me out a little bit, but Sausage was hiding behind the basket, just hissing. After about half an hour I spent with them, they both came out of the shells a little bit. I think that's when I thought, yeah, I need to take them home.
And they certainly aren't going to be lonely. Louise and Chris have 5 other cats.
I've had cats since I was little. When we first moved in, was it a Friday? And we got Max on the Saturday. So literally the first day we had a cat in the house. I can't not live without a cat. Max is the top cat. He's the oldest, and he's the boss.
We've got a full-on pride now.
You're not kidding, Chris.
They integrated really well.
Literally all it took was 24 hours.
40 hours they were all sleeping together with each other.
Yeah, Mash came out of his shell a lot quicker than Sausage did. I think he just wanted to be one of the big cats. He wanted to be involved. Sausage is a mummy's boy. He needs to be near me pretty much all the time. And he runs away from you.
Yeah.
You can't win them all.
Something we noticed at the centres as well is that people don't take black cats.
I don't know if it's superstition, but with Sausage and Mash, the 2 little black ones, they were just left there. They came across a little bit feral, and no one really wanted them, and it was heartbreaking to see them in there.
The animal centre doesn't normally rehome more than 6 cats together, but Louise and Chris are more than your average cat owners.
We normally go to the RSPCA at least once a month. We take food and blankets and things like that to help them out.
So they made a special exception.
We don't see the point in buying cats when there's cats that are in the RSPCA that are desperate for a home. I think that's why we've got so many, because I can't leave them. If I had my way, I'd take them all.
Looks as though Sausage and Mash have landed characteristically on their paws.
They're definitely part of the family. I've never been more happy. These are my little happy pills.
Coming up, Flash, the cat taken in by vet Kaylee, finally gets spayed.
Are you ready? Such a tiny little stumpet.
And hi, Jules.
And I get to meet one of our feline stars in the flesh, or should it be fur? In St Helens, vet Kaylee Hill has persuaded a devoted cat owner to give up 15 of her feline friends. And 6 have just arrived at Greater Manchester Animal Hospital. Young Flash is first up, and she's being spayed.
So I'm just going to work out her anaesthetic dose now, and we'll get that drawn up. So she weighs less than 1 kilo, which just shows how early we can do them. I'll just go into the back leg there. Are you ready? Oh dear.
Ouch. Once under, Kaylee takes the opportunity to give Flash a thorough body check.
Body condition score, she's probably a 3 out of 9. 4 to 5 would be the ideal. I can feel the bones along the top of her spine there a little bit too easily, and again the ribs. So that may be because she hasn't received any worming treatment yet. That can often mean that they're not absorbing the full amount of nutrients from the food.
Kaylee also needs to check for signs of infection.
Her ears are nice and clear there. Eyes, I'm going to pop some dye in, but there's no sign of conjunctivitis. The membranes are an OK colour. We've not got any discharge at the nose.
Looking good so far.
She's still got some baby teeth. Let's just check under the tongue. That all looks fine as well. And I'm just going to have another listen to her heart now. So there's no sound of any heart murmur, which is good. And her lungs are clear. There's no sound of infectional fluid as she's breathing there.
Just the usual, it seems.
So I can see quite a bit of flea dirt in the coat. But the actual skin itself at the moment, she hasn't reacted.
Lucky for Flash, there is no sign of serious problems, and her fleas and worms are easily treatable. Now on to the real surgery.
Got the umbilicus and the pubic brim there, so we go between those.
Spaying involves the removal of the ovaries and uterus. It's quick and easy with no negative side effects.
Here we have ovary and uterine horn, and what I'm going to do is place a ligature below this ovary on this side. The key to this is just slow and steady pressure. You don't want to pull too tight, else the material just snaps. Now we're just going to put a clamp above the ovary, so that'll stop us getting a big backflow of blood.
Though as with any operation, it's not without risk, mainly for Kaylee.
You can see it's such a tiny little stump. It looks like, would that even bleed? But you would know if you hadn't got it on there. It's surprising.
Nearly there now.
Cut that ovary off there. We're ready to take our little tiny uterus out. And there it is.
The RSPCA carried out nearly 50,000 cat neuterings last year. And while it may look fiddly, actually operating on a younger cat is easier, less risky, and it means no further surgery once rehomed. But that's not all.
It's been shown if they're spayed under 6 months of age, it actually reduces the chance of mammary cancers by over 90%, which is obviously a huge bonus.
So, just 3 layers of stitches later, you're good to go.
And hopefully we'll all be done within 15 minutes. So yeah, that's it, all done. Easy as that.
While Flash sleeps it off, the 5 other cats are weighed and examined too.
Come on then, mister.
All of these cats need flea and worm treatment, especially this guy.
And you can see a worm coming out the back there.
Ugh. Sorry, I should have warned you to look away.
I'd say all in all, today has been very successful. We were able to bring 6 back to the hospital and we've spayed lovely little Flash and that all went well. She's now sat in her pen munching on some food and is recovering well. So hopefully the next step for Flash is going to be that we find a centre that will take her.
It might be a small step for cat welfare, but it's of great benefit for individual cats.
It is a huge scale problem. The RSPCA receives more than 1,000 calls a year about these multi-animal houses. And, you know, that's probably the tip of the iceberg. I don't feel like I'm fighting a losing battle because for me, every single case matters. If we can try and keep with this preventative approach, this people-centred approach, then I think we're going to have more success.
We think you're doing a great job, Kaylee, and I'm sure the cats do too. Hopefully, with more owners like Mary doing the unselfish thing and reducing the amount of cats they have and getting them neutered and spayed, numbers will reduce quickly.
So that's nearly it for this show. We've just got a little bit of time to check in on one little kitty who nearly used up all of her lives. Hi, Jules.
Hello.
And hello, Jules.
Hello.
How's she doing?
She's doing remarkably well. She's recovered really well. The fracture repairs on her back legs were very fiddly and very tricky. Her bones are so small. But we x-rayed her last week and her back legs are completely healed and she's running around on all 4 legs.
So it's all looking good?
Looking really good.
So she's ready to be rehomed?
She's nearly ready. We've just got to give her her last vaccination.
OK.
Which we can do now.
Don't look. It's better not to look.
Jules.
There we go. Well
there
done.
We go.
That's you. I'll scream my head off at this point.
Brave.
So she is ready to be rehomed?
She is now ready to go.
OK, well, I've got, like, quite a good idea. So, here we go. Come with Mummy. There we go. Bye-bye. Thanks.